Now, the Australian film industry has faced an array of challenges over the past decade as it attempts to adapt to the rapidly changing theatrical landscape. But in news that's sure to be welcomed by the industry, it has emerged that this year Australian films have already surpassed the all-time box office record for a year.
That's right, Screen Australia has supported many of those films. And to tell us more, we're joined by its Strategy and Communication Manager, Georgie McClean. Good morning. Great news.
Yes, it is. We're really excited.
Yeah. Trials and tribulations is something that we tend to hear a bit more about, but this year has been a fantastic year so far.
Indeed.
We haven't even seen the end of the year just yet.
That's right, yeah,
so
there's more to come.
Talk us through what have been some of the highlights so far.
Okay, so I think one of the great things about this year is we've had a really strong array of films for a range of different audiences. We've had the wild ride of Mad Max Fury Road, we've had The Water Diviner, we've had obviously Russell Crowe's film, we've had films like Holding the Man and Last Cab to Darwin that have performed really well, which are really sort of powerful dramas about some quite difficult themes. And then we've had a fantastic year for family films. We've had 3 really strong performing family films. We had Paper Planes, we've had Oddball, and currently on screens Blinky Bill. It's really exciting to see such a range of films on offer and performing so well.
Yeah, I mean, there's such diversity there, isn't there? Let's start with Mad Max. No surprises, that's the biggest box office winner.
No.
Do we really call it an Australian movie, though? I mean, I know it's directed and made here.
Yeah. Look, George Miller's one of our great creative talents.
Yeah, no, I know.
And, you know, that's a story world that's been created for many, many years. I remember seeing, you know, Beyond Thunderdome as a kid and just loving that world that was created.
Yeah.
And it is intrinsically Australian. Australian creatives, it employed, you know, huge numbers of Australians. It's an Australian epic that's been developed over many, many years. So, and George is absolutely one of our own, you know.
I think we're right to claim that as one of our own.
Yes,
definitely.
indeed.
I'm taking that one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just looking at the lead actors.
Indeed. But, you know, there's so many more people that go into it than that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Are our films, and we've talked about the diversity of the films that are doing really well for us here, are our films also translating internationally?
Absolutely. The other thing that's been great about this year is we've had record years at Toronto International Film Festival and London Film Festival. Each of those selected 13 Australian films, which is so competitive. So to have that happen has been fantastic, and the critical acclaim's been really strong. You know, Australia has brilliant talent in this industry, and it's recognised all over the world. You know, we really, it's a bit of a cliche to say it, but we punch above our weight all the time.
What is it about this year, though, and those quality of Australian films? I mean, is it cyclical that Australians think, oh, we've fallen in love with our own story, and then a couple of years later, it's a bit over
look,
that.
absolutely it is cyclical in terms of how box office performs. I think, though, these films have really known their audience. They've been really, really clear about who they're for, and that is something that films really need to do now. I mean, it's such a crowded marketplace out there. You know, compared to 10 years ago, there are 33% more films competing for the same numbers of seats and screens than there were in the previous environment. So you really have to know who you're out there for and who you're talking to with your film. And all of these films have done that, and have done it with great strength, you know, and it's really, really succeeded. It's fantastic to be able to take, you know, my 6-year-old daughter to go see Paper Planes and Oddball and sit in a cinema full of kids laughing, gasping along and hearing their own accents, seeing familiar places. It's really powerful, and in such a crowded marketplace, to see people, you know, deciding to go to the cinema, to go to the big screen, to sort of pay the ticket price, go in and share that collective experience, it's really gratifying to us.
Well, I have to say I'm also looking ahead here as well.
Yeah.
We're still waiting to see The Dressmaker.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to this
So
one
glad to
coming
hear it,
out.
yeah.
What are we hoping for with this particular film? It's got a lot of great ingredients, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, and you know, looking at it, it's a powerful adaptation of a really successful novel by Rosalie Ham. It's got a great cast. It's led by Kate Winslet, but with Sarah Snook, Judy Davis, Hugo Weaving, Liam Hemsworth with his shirt off at certain moments. You can see that in the trailer. And it's a fantastic female creative team. Jocelyn Morehouse returning to directing, with Sue Maslin producing, Jill Bilcock editing. It's a really powerful setup, and we think it's going to be fantastic. Having said that, you know, if anyone in this industry says they can predict success, they're dreaming. But we have great anticipations for The Dressmaker. We think it's going to be a really strong one to round off an incredible year.
Oh, it is a hard road to hoe, isn't it, as far as
It
making
is.
a film, particularly in this country. And,
That's right.
I mean, is it made easier now with the dollar falling? Perhaps we're going to attract more international films here as well?
Look, potentially that is still a challenge because it's so competitive. There are so many different incentives all over the world that are vying to attract films to come to their countries and film. And that's partly because there's a huge sort of halo effect of having those films in Australia, in any country. But, you know, for local films to be made here, it is getting increasingly difficult to finance them. They're labours of love. They're huge, kind of, to get that, piece together the finance, you know, employ all those people, create these stories over many, many years. Of course, you want the best possible audience for that film, and it's really fantastic to see them doing so well.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing more where that came from.
Yes, indeed.
Georgie McClean, thank you very much for joining us this
Pleasure to
morning.
be here. Thanks so much.